Hi, and welcome to our very first interview with one of the founding members of the Global Association for Coaching Integrity, which was founded at the beginning of this year, 2019. So I am asking people to come who have become members to come and have a little conversation, just share their thoughts and feelings. And this beautiful woman I have here with me today is Lisa, is it Meisels or Meisels? I'm sorry.
Meisels.
Meisels, I had it totally wrong. So Lisa Meisels, beautiful name. And Lisa is a client attraction and visibility strategist. And she has over 25 years of experience, both working with in the corporate environment and with startups. And she has offered to come today and share some of her experiences and perceptions about coaching in the context within which she works. So welcome, Lisa. So glad you're here.
Yes, thank you. I'm honored to be here and be one of the founding members.
You are not only our founding member, you are our very first interviewee.
Ooh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So you've had a lot of experience as an innovative leader and a mentor. And so part of that, of course, has given you a lot of experience both being under people and also working over people and also working one-to-one as a coach. So since this is focused on coaching and you have a lot of differing ways of experiencing that, would you share with us some of your concerns, whatever you think they are, around the sense of integrity or however you're approaching it, and maybe some of what your solutions are if you see there are any issues that need solving or perhaps some things are missing that need to be added in. So let's hear your wisdom and experience.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, I kind of think coaching is the wild, wild west right now.
Yeah.
Kind of like, we have a lot of people that are coming in and it's being kind of promoted as like anybody can do this.
Yes, it is.
And one of the things is that I see a lot of very young people that are coming in with I don't want to say no skills, but no experience in working with other people.
Right.
And the people-to-people interaction is really important. I believe that people can be mentors and have life experience and step into whatever they want. I think that we're entering this age where we are valuing our life experience, our gifts, our knowledge and wisdom. But there has to be in a coaching environment, there has to be people skills.
Right.
And it really is helpful if you've gone through a certification course or if you've gone through professional experience. For instance, like I've been a therapist with nutrition. I've also been a counselor with nutrition and a variety of other things. And I've been a mentor for students and interns. And I've been a consultant, and those are all different things, but they're kind of like mishmashed and used interchangeably, and they are different things. So I think, having integrity is being very honest with who you are and how you're showing up, and really being honest about like your credentials and your background and all of that. And I really believe that is where we're going. It's just kind of like I said, it's the Wild West, and people are, like, woo-hoo, let's
go.
Let's do this. We can do anything.
One of the things that motivated the creation of this was my experience at some events that I had gone to around affiliate marketing. And what I found were there were lots of people there who did have some life experience, and also some who didn't have a whole lot, offering programs that promoted their transformation that they had experienced, about which they were very happy and excited. But they usually felt that what I found as I talked with them is that they believed that everybody's world was like their own. And so all they had to do was share their experience for transformation, and other people would have the same experience. And of course, you and I both know that's not the case. This is where the skills come in, the ability to actually understand what coaching is. So that actually, plus, of course, I'm a trainer of neuro-linguistic programming, so I'm very oriented towards skill. But it did kind of force me to look at that and say, I think something's missing here. Even though there are many good coaching programs out there, it just seems like it's not quite getting to the place where people are believing it's that necessary. Is that sign of what you're saying, that people are missing that point, or something different?
Well, yeah, I mean, the ability to actually create the transformation for somebody else, to have them experience the transformation, it takes a skill.
It does.
That's what coaching is about. It's not about your own expertise. It's about helping the person answer their own questions.
Right.
So you have to be a very good, skilled question asker.
Right.
And you have to ask the right kind of questions at the right time to get people to experience that breakthrough or transformation. And, the work that I do is a mixture of mentoring, coaching, and consulting. I like that. I like consulting. I like the strategy. I like to tell people how to do things, and that's not part of coaching.
Okay, so you're saying there is a distinction, which I agree with. I'm just seeing if we're on the same page, with leading somebody through a strategy for something, showing them how to do it, versus asking questions to help the person find their own way through something. Great distinction. Yeah.
And then counseling is a whole different animal.
Right.
And I think, there's overlaps. And I think where we get in trouble is when we call ourselves one thing, but we're really doing another thing. Because especially if people have an understanding of what, if I call myself a consultant and all I'm doing is asking you questions about yourself, they're not going to be very happy, right?
Right.
And then the other thing also is, if somebody is in a coaching program and expects to have some consulting done or some mentoring, and that's not part of the coaching program, they might have different expectations.
Right. Yeah. So establishing more clarity between these different professional personas that you have to have when you walk in, and the skill set that goes with each one, you think will help a lot. I agree with you. Yeah. So there's something different with coaching, consulting, being a counselor, being a mentor. Those are kind of four main areas, and they all have different skill sets. Yeah. And I think you're right. There's a lot of confusion. Many of the people that I've talked to who are wanting to go out and coach people or essentially run programs. So tell me what you think about running a program that is being called a coaching program. Essentially, it's teaching somebody how that person got where they're going to go. What would you call a person who does that?
It's kind of like they're stepping into the educator, and it's not really coaching, because if you're not asking, if coaching is about asking questions and having the person find out what the answer is from within.
Right. Absolutely.
And in a coaching program, if it's an online program or an online course, it's really not a coaching program, because you're not asking the questions unless you're just asking them and people are writing them down. But then there's no mentoring, and I believe that coaching and mentoring go hand in hand.
They sure do. I know one of the things that happened with neuro-linguistic programming is, before too long, they started having people come out of the practitioner course, going right into the master practitioner course, going right into the trainer's course, or the trainer's course, and then training the trainers, really essentially without a whole lot of experience. And it didn't do well for the field as a whole. There was a lot of splitting that happened from that. So I'm with you. I think mentoring is extremely important as part of a program, that's included in it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the personal experience that you've been through is very important.
Yep.
In sharing stories and being relatable and helping people see different perspectives, but everybody has their own perspective and everybody has their own stuff that they're dealing with. And so being able to pull out and untangle that is really the art of coaching.
I would agree with that completely. And of course, the NLP, the neuro-linguistic stuff, which is what I'm about helping people do, really is helping you understand more about people's subjective experience so that you actually ask those questions, but you're able to formulate them in a way that people embrace them and don't find them obnoxious or intrusive, which also often happens.
Right. No, that's really important. I know NLP work is super fantastic.
Yeah, it's very helpful. I mean, there are lots of trainings that you can have, but I think what you're talking about is very important. And also what you started out with was being honest about what role you're playing and having clarity about that, and then being transparent about it as well.
Yeah.
So is there some place that a person can go to learn these differentiations? Is it you that they come to?
Well,
Have you written
no,
articles?
not necessarily me. I mean, I've spent time in each role.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they overlap, and they do overlap.
Yeah, they do.
So but I just think the importance of what you're speaking to is having the integrity of within the coaching field is, can anybody call themselves a coach? Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And are you recognized as a coach? Well, it depends on who's recognizing you.
Right.
If people are recognizing you, then that's true. If the, coaching federation is recognized, they will not recognize you if you don't have a certification.
Right.
And so I have coaching background. We are taught coaching within the model of the nutrition behavioral breakthroughs and all that stuff that we did. So it's a different kind of coaching, but it's still professionally trained. And I think you have to have some professional training in order to come out there and say, this is what I can do for you, and get you the results and consistent results. So
Okay.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. I mean, well, there are a lot of professional trainings out there. So do you have any comment about the professional trainings that are being offered for coaching? Do you know anything about them, or is it not something that you want to comment on?
I really don't. I don't have enough information to answer the question accurately.
Okay. But I think essentially you and I both agree, if you're going to go out into the world, and I say work with people, in any context, you need to have the basic people skills that will allow you to gain rapport with that person and gain their trust to the degree that you can ask questions without offending them, and that they are happy to answer them because they believe that you know what you're doing and you'll help them get wherever it is they want to go.
Well, absolutely, because if you don't build that trust, people are not going to open up, and they're not going to get the breakthrough you promise.
Right. I find so many people think that trust is being liked, that if you're liked, you actually, people have decided they trust you. And I have also found that not to be the case, because you can find very resistant people when you're working with someone who, like you, think you're fabulous, but really are not going to answer your questions. And that's because you really don't have rapport in my world, which is, excuse me, it's having more of a trust from the unconscious level of that person. I'm big into the unconscious level because that's what NLP is all about. And I used to be a hypnotherapist long ago, working directly with the unconscious mind. So let me ask you, in relationship to the work you do, when you work with people on helping them generate strategies for client attraction and visibility, coaching is essentially a part of that. Asking questions is a part of that. You're also mentoring and helping them do that. And would you say you're also consulting in the sense of giving them strategy and things like that?
Yeah.
And you're also mentoring, and you're also educating. So you do all of them in one fell swoop, of course. That's why she's somebody you need to go see if you want all those things and you're focused on client attraction and visibility. That's great. Yeah. So in relationship to all of that, what would you say is the most important thing that a coach should have before they start working with people and charging money? The thing that they really need to have, not necessarily from someone external, but inside of themselves.
With money.
Money?
Well, is that what you said?
No, inside of themselves. What do they need to have before they start charging money? Because I'm
Oh, before they
assuming
start charging money, what
yeah,
do they
most people,
have?
of course, practice and you do it for free for a while, and then you decide you're going to charge money. What do you think a person should have on the inside before they start doing that? What's the key essential for them?
Well, the key essential is owning their own value. I mean, they have to understand what it is that they bring to the table, and they have to feel worthy of receiving the
Okay.
money.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's what you're, if
Yeah,
that's
that's great because I think that's also a major issue is people's relationship to money. I'm assuming you work with that with people as well.
right.
I would think
Yeah.
that would be a great element of being able to attract people. And
Yeah, because people have abundance blocks. They have blocks, and a lot of them. And so I just got off a call with a client, and we had to look at the results that they bring and how, it's like, are you worth this?
Mhm.
And that goes deep into some, like, the work you do, the subconscious stuff,
Right.
with people, and they have to be able to open up. And so asking the right questions is
Yeah.
really important so that they can open up and actually get a breakthrough and feel that they are worthy. And that's a huge breakthrough.
It's a huge breakthrough. It
And
really
so
is. Yeah.
if you can get to the faster you can get those breakthroughs one after another, the faster you can move your clients along to get the results that they want.
Mhm. So what I'm hearing primarily from you is, first of all, honesty is one of the key elements that needs to be there about what role you're playing and do you have the skill set to deliver what you're offering, which is something that I always also feel very strongly about. And that essentially tying into your own value is really essential to being able, in some ways, to even generate the skill set, because you have to have courage to keep doing it. You have to have persistence, stamina. It's not easy, you know.
It's not easy. It is not easy, but I feel like it's a calling for a lot of people. The people I work with, it's definitely a calling, and so they're feeling like they're pulled forward by something bigger than them.
Right. You work with heart-centered women entrepreneurs, correct?
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's like, yes, it's hard. We face so many hurdles, and if you have that extra strength from wherever else it comes from, it's a little bit beneficial because you're on a journey,
It is. Yeah.
and it's like there's no stopping me.
Well, I appreciate your attitude because so many of the marketing things that you hear about out there, even for marketing coaching, as a career, um, I cringe a little bit when somebody says that they can give you a coaching credential in 6 days or 5 days.
Mm.
With that NL, I keep seeing things for NLP where you can get certified, excuse me, as a practitioner in 5 days. My training is minimally 6 months for just even a coach, much less a practitioner or master practitioner.
Learning it is one thing. Seeing it on a page is one thing. Integrating it is a completely different thing. Working with somebody is, again, a completely different thing.
Right.
And then stepping back and taking that information in and assessing it is another step. And then going back out there and doing it again. Like, that is the process of what you have to go through in order for you to learn the skill, the
Mhm.
skill set.
Yeah. One of the things that I can just see by the way that you present things is that you have developed a very good ability to put things in an order, make it ordered, and you see it logically this way. First there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and that category, and then there's this step is this, and this, and this. And that is one of the things that makes a really good coach, because what you're demonstrating in your own behavior here is an incredible intellectual flexibility, which is connected to your emotional self as well. And that's like so fundamental to really giving good coaching or consulting or being an educator. And I think that takes time. I mean, some people do it naturally, and you may be one of those people, but nevertheless, it's a great demonstration for anyone watching that this is something that you can learn and you need to learn, because you're dealing with somebody's reality in front of you, and you have to be able to navigate it better than they do, because your job is to help them find their way out, right? Or to a new way of looking at something. So anybody watching, watch this lady's, strategy. She's got a good one going for her there.
Very much. Thank you.
So I said we were going to keep this fairly short because we live in a, what do you
Busy,
call it?
busy.
There you go. You know, everybody's got, you know, attention span impossibility these days. So anything else you want to say as a closer for how to deal with this whole issue of coaching in today's world, this Wild West arena that we're in?
Yeah, well, the thing that I was just emphasize again is the practical application. So going out and doing it. It's one thing to learn it and to take a course and to go, okay, here I am.
Right.
It's another thing to actually move somebody through, and that takes practice. It takes practice, and you're not going to know where you love to be and who you love to work with and what you are really good at until you do it.
That's right. I remember when I was first training, someone said to me, told a little story, and they said they were in New York, and they went up and asked somebody, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And their response was, practice. Which I always remember because it made me laugh. And I think,
yes,
sure.
Exactly, right?
Well, thank you. That's great advice. And thank you so much for coming today. And Lisa has for you, you want to tell them about the free thing that you have that they can get to?
Yes, it's a masterclass on client attraction. It's actually some of my insights. So the 5 best strategies to attract your soul clients naturally without having to hunt them down. Because I think a lot of people feel like they have to go out hunting or looking for clients.
Yeah.
And so it's how do you bring people to you naturally? And so that's what I go over in the class, and I would love to offer it to anybody who's watching this for free.
Okay. And I will have the link to that on the description underneath this video for those of you who are watching it. So just click on that and go get that wonderful piece of information, especially if you are a heart-centered female entrepreneur. You will know what it's like to be pulled to something. So let yourself be pulled right to this lady's product over there, and you'll learn more about her. Thanks a lot, Lisa. I really appreciate your willingness to do this today, and you've been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Take care. If you haven't joined the Global Association, go to gaci.solutions and join us. Bye. Much love.